Betrayal cuts deeper than any blade betrayal. It's a word that carries a weight heavier than most. And if you've ever been betrayed by someone you trusted, you know exactly what I mean. It doesn't just hurt, it shakes you to your core. It breaks something deep inside you, something you thought was unbreakable. Maybe it was a friend who turned their back on you. Maybe it was family. The people who were supposed to stand by you, but instead they abandoned you when you needed them most. Or maybe it was a relationship where love turned into deception, leaving you questioning everything, even your own worth. Betrayal cuts deeper than any blade because it doesn't just wound the body, it wounds the soul. And the hardest part? It comes from the ones we least expect. A stranger can't betray you. Only someone you let close enough to touch your heart can. And when that betrayal comes, it doesn't just hurt, it shakes your faith. It makes you question everything. Why, God? Why would you let this happen? Why would you allow someone I trusted to hurt me like this? That's the real pain of betrayal. It doesn't just break relationships. It breaks trust. It breaks confidence. It breaks the belief that the world is a safe place. And worst of all, it can make you question God. But let me tell you something. God is not blind to your pain. He is not indifferent to your suffering. What if I told you that your betrayal, yes, the very thing that tried to break you, is part of something greater? What if I told you that God isn't punishing you, but preparing you? See, every betrayal has a purpose. And if you don't understand that purpose, it will control you. It will consume you. It will make you bitter, resentful, and cold. But if you do understand, if you learn how God uses betrayal, you won't just survive, you'll rise. Today we're going to uncover something powerful. 7 divine ways God teaches us to deal with betrayal, not just to endure it, but to transform it. Because your story isn't over, your pain isn't pointless, and no matter what's been taken from you, God has something greater ahead. Are you ready? Betrayal is part of life. You're not alone. Let me tell you something that you may not want to hear. Betrayal is inevitable. It's part of this journey we call life. No one is immune. If you think you're the only one who's been hurt, think again. Even Jesus, the Son of God, was betrayed. His closest disciples turned their backs on him. His own people rejected him. So why do we expect to be spared? Why do we think betrayal is a punishment? It's not. Betrayal is a test. It's not a reflection of your worth. It's a test of your faith and your resilience. When people hurt you, leave you, or betray you, it's not a sign that you're cursed. It's a sign that you are being tested. Your faith, your trust, your strength are being refined. Every person who betrays you isn't just a setback. They are a chance for you to grow, to become stronger, and to understand that your worth isn't tied to anyone else's loyalty. You're not alone in this pain. Every person you admire, every leader you look up to has faced betrayal. It's part of the process. But here's the truth. You're still standing, and that's what matters. The pain that cuts deep, understanding the emotional impact betrayal doesn't just break trust, it shatters something far deeper. It shakes your very sense of self-worth. It makes you question your judgment, your worth, and sometimes even your faith in humanity. It's not just about being let down by someone you trusted. It's about the part of you that believed in them, that believed in that relationship. And when that belief is broken, it can feel like a piece of you has been ripped away. The impact of betrayal runs deep. It's not something you can just walk off. The emotional scars can affect your relationships, your career, your faith, and your mental health. It changes how you see the world, how you see yourself, and how you trust. But here's the thing. You have 2 choices. You can let it define you, or you can let it refine you. You can choose to stay stuck in bitterness and pain, letting that betrayal control your life, or you can choose to rise above it, to use it as a stepping stone, as a lesson. Because pain isn't meant to destroy you, it's meant to shape you, to test you, to challenge you, and to make you stronger. The greatest comebacks in life are born from the deepest betrayals. But you have to decide, will you stay down or will you get back up? Betrayal as a test, a lesson, and a redirection. There's a principle I want you to understand. Sometimes when people walk away, it's not a loss, it's God clearing your path for something greater. When someone betrays you, it can feel like the end of the road. You're left with questions, with doubt, with uncertainty. But what if that setback is actually a setup? What if the betrayal is God's way of redirecting you to something better? What feels like rejection in the moment is often divine protection. People who abandon you were never meant to be part of your future. You may not see it now, But God sees the bigger picture. He knows what you need even when you don't. He knows who will support you, who will be there for you, and who won't. So, instead of getting stuck in the hurt, understand that God is working behind the scenes. That betrayal, that hurt, that loss, it's a part of your story, but it's not the end of the story. God is preparing you for something greater, something that only could come after this pain. You are being redirected, and when you come out on the other side, you'll be stronger, wiser, and more aligned with your true purpose. Biblical and real-life examples, God's plan through betrayal. Look at Joseph, betrayed by his own brothers, thrown into a pit, sold into slavery, and forgotten. Yet God used that betrayal to position him for greatness. From the pit to the palace, Joseph's betrayal didn't define him, it refined him. His story is a testament to God's plan that sometimes what looks like a setback is the very thing that leads to your destiny. And then there's David. He was betrayed by King Saul, a man he trusted, a man he served. But instead of allowing Saul's betrayal to break him, David grew stronger. He learned, he prayed, and he trusted God's timing. That betrayal prepared him for the kingship God had promised him. But this isn't just something from the past. In modern times, there are countless examples of people who were betrayed, who faced rejection, and who used that pain to propel themselves forward. Think about Oprah Winfrey, who was once fired from a TV station. Her betrayal was the catalyst for her rise to greatness. The lesson is clear. Betrayal is not the end. It's the beginning of something greater. God's presence in the pain. You were never forsaken. Let me remind you of something powerful. God never promised you wouldn't face betrayal. He never promised you wouldn't suffer, but he did promise that you would never walk through that pain alone. He promised he would never leave you. Betrayal can feel like a storm that shakes you to your core, but the beauty of that storm is that it can lead you directly into the arms of God. When betrayal happens, it can feel like the world is against you. It can feel like you're all alone, that God has forgotten about you. But that's the lie the enemy wants you to believe. God sees what they did, but he also sees what he's about to do for you. Your pain is not wasted. It is not forgotten. God uses it to strengthen you, to prepare you for the future he has planned for you. This is a moment to lean into your faith, not away from it. God's presence is with you in the storm. He's carrying you, holding you, and guiding you. You were never forsaken. You are not alone. And no matter how painful the betrayal, God's purpose for your life will not be thwarted. First divine lesson, let God reveal the truth. Betrayal hits hard, but God saw it coming. Let me tell you something. Betrayal hits you like a sucker punch. It blindsides you, shakes you to your core, and leaves you questioning everything. It shakes your trust in others, in yourself, and in the very world around you. You wonder, how could they do this? How could they hurt me like this? But here's the truth. What surprises you never surprises God. He saw it coming from miles away. The shock to you is not a shock to him. He knew what was about to happen. And while we're left broken, he is watching over us with a divine purpose. God allows betrayal in our lives, not to break us, but to wake us. Sometimes he lets us fall into pain so that we learn to rise higher, stronger, and more aware of who we are in him. Yes, betrayal hurts. Yes, it feels like the ground has been pulled from under you, but this is not the end of your story. This is the beginning of a new chapter. God is moving pieces in your life, and he is using this pain for something bigger than you can see right now. So, when betrayal hits, don't despair. Trust that God's got a plan. Denial versus revelation, seeing the truth as God sees it. I want you to reflect for a moment. When betrayal happens, what's your first reaction? Denial. This can't be happening to me. No, they didn't really do that. We try to ignore the facts because we don't want to believe the painful truth. We hold on to illusions because it's easier than accepting reality. But here's what you need to understand. Holding on to that denial is preventing your growth. It's keeping you from seeing the truth as God sees it. Sometimes the truth hurts. It's not easy. It doesn't come wrapped in a neat little package with a bow on top. But God's truth isn't meant to harm you. It's meant to heal you. It's like getting surgery. The incision stings, but the healing afterward makes you stronger than ever before. Denial only prolongs the pain. When God opens your eyes to the truth, it may feel like the world is crumbling, but in reality, it's being rebuilt in the way you always intended. Embrace the revelation, accept it, because it's the key to your freedom. God uses betrayal to remove masks. I want you to think about the people around you. You might be walking through life thinking that everyone who smiles at you is a friend, that everyone who says they love you truly does. But let me be blunt with you. Just because someone walks with you, Judas walked with Jesus for 3 years. He ate with him, traveled with him, saw the miracles, but at the moment of truth, he betrayed him. Why? Because not everyone in your life is truly for you. Some people are wearing masks, pretending to be your friend, pretending to have your back. And betrayal is the moment God uses to pull back those masks. It's painful, but it's necessary. You might feel like you've lost something precious, but in reality, God is protecting you from people who were never meant to walk with you on your journey. Betrayal is not rejection, it's redirection. Don't mourn what you lost, celebrate what you've been freed from. Trust God when He removes people who were holding you back. His plan is always better, and His timing is always perfect. A poisoned cup. When God knocks the wrong people out of your life. Imagine drinking from a cup, thinking it's pure water, only to realize it's poison. You're drinking something that is slowly killing you, but you can't see it until it's too late. Now imagine God, in His mercy, knocking that cup out of your hands before you even have a chance to drink it. That's what betrayal is. Betrayal is God knocking that poisoned cup out of your hands. It might feel like a loss, but it's really a blessing in disguise. Losing the wrong people in your life is not a tragedy, it's salvation. God knows what's harmful to your soul. He knows who will drag you down and who will lift you up. When people walk away, it might sting, but trust that God is removing toxins from your life so you can be stronger, healthier, and more prepared for what's ahead. It's painful to let go, but remember, you're not losing, you're being protected. Embracing the revelation. Moving from shock to strength. You've experienced betrayal and you've been rocked by the shock. But now, it's time to move from shock to strength. God doesn't just reveal the truth to you, He equips you to handle it. He gives you the strength to face the reality and to rise above it. Now, here's the choice. Will you stay bitter? The decision is yours, but let me tell you something. Bitterness will keep you stuck. It will drain your energy and prevent you from growing. But when you embrace God's wisdom, when you allow Him to heal you, you will come out of this stronger, wiser, and more powerful than you were before. Betrayal is not the end, it's the beginning. It's the beginning of a new chapter in your life, a chapter where you're more focused, more grounded, and more in tune with God's purpose for you. Trust the process, embrace the revelation, and let the strength you gain from this experience lead you to something greater than you ever imagined. Second divine lesson, let go of revenge. The first reaction, the flesh wants revenge, but God commands restraint. Let me ask you something. When someone betrays you, what's your first reaction? Anger, hurt, the urge to strike back, to make them feel the pain they've caused you. And who could blame you? We live in a world that tells us, an eye for an eye, that the best way to handle betrayal is to hit back twice as hard. It feels natural, doesn't it? But here's the truth. The flesh wants revenge, but God calls us to restraint. God says, vengeance is mine, I will repay. That's not just a command, it's a promise. It's hard to trust God with that. We want control. We want to take matters into our own hands. Listen closely. Letting go of revenge doesn't mean you're weak. It means you trust God's timing, His justice, and His plan. It means choosing peace over chaos, trust over bitterness. It's one of the hardest choices you'll ever make, but it's also the most powerful. Trusting God with your hurt is how you rise above it. Let go of the desire for revenge and watch God work in ways you never could have imagined. The hidden cost of bitterness. Who really suffers? Here's something you need to hear. Holding on to bitterness doesn't hurt the person who wronged you. It hurts you. It's like drinking poison and expecting the other person to suffer. The anger, the resentment, the hatred it builds up inside of you, slowly eating away at your peace, your joy, your health. You carry that weight every single day, and it doesn't matter how justified your anger is, it will still cost you. Bitterness doesn't just destroy your mental and emotional state, it also takes a toll on your physical body. Stress, high blood pressure, even sleep problems, they all come from holding on to that grudge. And unforgiveness? That's the chains that keep you tied to the very person and situation you want to escape. You want freedom, you want peace, then you need to let it go. God isn't asking you to forget what happened, but he's asking you to trust him with the healing. Forgiveness is the key that unlocks your freedom. Stop drinking the poison. It's time to let it go and heal. David and Saul, the ultimate test of restraint. Now let me tell you a story. David, a young man with every reason to seek revenge, had Saul, his mentor, chasing him, trying to kill him. David had been anointed by God, and Saul, out of jealousy, wanted to destroy him. I can only imagine the pain David felt, betrayed by the one person he trusted most. But here's where it gets powerful. When David had the chance to kill Saul, he didn't take it. Why? Because David trusted God to handle his enemies. He knew that vengeance wasn't his to take. He knew that God's timing was perfect and God would take care of it. In that moment, David didn't act out of his flesh, he acted out of trust. The test of restraint wasn't just about not killing Saul, it was about trusting that God would deal with Saul in his own time and way. And guess what? God did. David became king and Saul's reign came to an end, but not because David took matters into his own hands. It was God's justice, not David's. You may be in a similar situation where the temptation to take revenge is strong, but remember, the greatest test is trusting God to fight your battles. Let him handle the people who hurt you. His plan is greater than your reaction. Betrayal shouldn't change who you are. Let me tell you something important. Betrayal doesn't have to change you. It can be easy to let the pain of betrayal harden your heart, to become angry, bitter, and callous. But what happens when you let that happen? You become what hurt you. The very thing you despise starts to define who you are. You start to close yourself off from others, from love, from hope. That's not strength, that's weakness. True strength is rising above the betrayal with dignity, with grace, and with the decision to stay true to who you are, no matter what anyone else has done. You don't have to let someone's actions determine your character. You don't have to lower yourself to their level. In fact, you have the power to rise above. It's not easy, but it's what makes you stronger. It's what makes you a person of integrity. So choose to stay kind, choose to stay strong, choose to remain who God created you to be. Don't let betrayal rewrite your story. The ultimate freedom, releasing the desire for revenge. Finally, let's talk about the ultimate freedom. The moment you let go of revenge, you step into a new kind of victory. Letting go isn't losing. It's choosing to win in a way that will change your life. You might think holding on to that anger gives you power, but it only gives you pain. The real power comes when you surrender that desire for revenge to God. Trusting God to fight your battles is what sets you free. You don't have to keep looking over your shoulder, wondering when you'll get even. When you release the desire for revenge, you release the chains that have been holding you back. You can move forward in peace. You can look ahead, knowing that your future is in God's hands and He's working everything out for your good. You're not stuck in the past anymore. You're moving forward, and that's where the true victory lies. Let go, trust God, and experience the freedom that comes with it. Third divine lesson, use betrayal as a setup, not a setback. Betrayal feels like an end, but what if it's a beginning? Let me ask you, have you ever been betrayed? The kind of betrayal that shakes you to your core? It feels like your world is falling apart, doesn't it? The pain is sharp, the hurt deep, and in that moment, it seems like the end of the road. You feel lost, alone, confused, and you can't see the way forward. But what if I told you that this betrayal, the one that feels like the end, could actually be the beginning? What if it's a signal that God is about to elevate you? What if He's removing certain people from your life because He has bigger plans for you? God doesn't allow betrayal to happen without a purpose. You might not see it now, but that betrayal could be the very thing that propels you into your next level. Think about it. Sometimes God has to remove people who can't go with you to the next season of your life. He's preparing you for something greater, something that only you can handle. Your current situation isn't the end. It's a setup for what's to come. God is in control, even in the most painful moments. Trust that He's using this betrayal to position you for greatness. So don't let it break you. Let it build you. Joseph's story, from the pit to the palace. Now let me take you to a story that you know well, Joseph's story. Joseph was betrayed by his own brothers. They sold him into slavery, left him in a pit, and yet that betrayal didn't break him. It built him. It pushed him toward his destiny. You see, Joseph's brothers thought they were ruining his life, but what they didn't know was that their betrayal was part of God's plan, to move Joseph closer to his purpose. Joseph went from the pit to the palace, from being a slave to becoming a ruler, and it all started with the betrayal. You may be facing a similar situation right now, feeling like the world is against you. You may feel like you've been knocked down, abandoned, or rejected. But here's the truth. The pain you're feeling now is just a stepping stone toward your purpose. The betrayal isn't about where you are. It's about where God is taking you. God can take the worst moments of your life and turn them into something beautiful. Trust in his plan, even when you don't understand it. The bow and arrow. Pulled back to launch forward. Imagine a bow and arrow. The bow has to be pulled back in order for the arrow to be shot forward. It feels like resistance. It feels like a setback. But the truth is, the more the bow is pulled back, the farther the arrow will fly. Betrayal is like that bow. It feels like you've been pulled back, stretched beyond your limit. You feel the pressure, the tension, and it's painful. But what if God is just getting you ready for something bigger? What if that setback isn't a setback at all, but a setup? The greater the resistance you feel, the greater the potential for your launch. Every time you feel like you're being pulled back, remember that God is positioning you for something greater. The greater the betrayal, the greater the blessing that's about to come. So don't let the pain of betrayal hold you back. Embrace it as the launch pad to your next level. You are being prepared for something far beyond what you can see right now. Don't stay stuck in the pain. Focus on the purpose. Here's the challenge. It's easy to get stuck in the pain. It's easy to stay in the cycle of bitterness and anger. Betrayal hurts. It's natural to want to hold on to that pain. But here's the reality. That's not your calling. You weren't meant to stay in pain. You weren't meant to stay stuck. Every betrayal carries a lesson. Are you willing to find it? Are you willing to learn from it, to grow from it, and to use it as fuel for your future? If you stay focused on the hurt, you'll miss the purpose behind the pain. God is preparing something ahead of you, something bigger and better than what you can imagine. But you can't move forward if you're still stuck in the past. You can't keep reliving the betrayal. You have to let go of the hurt and focus on the purpose. The pain won't last forever. The lessons from the betrayal will, though. And those lessons will lead you to something greater than you ever thought possible. So stop looking back. Start looking forward. Your future is waiting and is far brighter than anything in your past. Your future is bigger than your betrayal. Let me leave you with this. The betrayal wasn't the end of your story. It was just a chapter. A difficult, painful chapter, yes, but not the whole book. Your future is far bigger than your betrayal. What's ahead of you is greater than anything you've left behind. The pain of betrayal doesn't define you. It refines you. It's not the end of your journey. It's just the beginning of something even more incredible. Trust that God is using this season of pain to prepare you for the future he has already designed for you. Keep your eyes forward, keep your heart open, and trust that what God has in store for you is far greater than any betrayal you've ever faced. The best is yet to come. Stay faithful, stay strong, the future is yours. Fourth divine lesson, forgiveness is freedom. Forgiveness isn't for them, it's for you. Let me ask you something. How many of you have carried around a grudge? How many of you are holding on to resentment, bitterness, and anger? It feels heavy, doesn't it? Almost like a weight around your neck, dragging you down every day. You might think that holding on to those feelings is punishing the person who hurt you, but in reality, it's only holding you captive. Forgiveness isn't for them, it's for you. It doesn't mean what they did is okay, and it doesn't mean you approve of the pain they caused. Forgiveness is about releasing yourself from the chains that unforgiveness has wrapped around you. It's about freeing your mind, your heart, and your spirit. Carrying resentment is like walking around with chains. You're carrying that burden everywhere you go. And it's controlling your freedom. It's controlling your peace. But here's the truth. You hold the key to that prison. You have the power to unlock the door and walk out. So why stay trapped in a prison of your own making? Let go of the resentment and you'll discover the freedom that lies on the other side. Jesus showed us the ultimate example of forgiveness. There is no greater example of forgiveness than Jesus Christ. Betrayed by his closest friends, mocked by the people he came to save, and crucified on a cross, he still found it within himself to forgive. Imagine the pain he endured. Imagine the humiliation, the rejection, and the suffering he experienced. And yet, in the midst of that excruciating pain, Jesus said, "Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do." Let that sink in for a moment. In his moment of greatest suffering, he forgave. Why? Because he understood that forgiveness is not about the one who hurt you. It's about you letting go of the pain so you can move forward. If Jesus could forgive while suffering on the cross, what excuse do we have? We've all been wronged. We've all been hurt. But holding on to that hurt does nothing but keep us stuck. It's time to follow the ultimate example. Forgiveness doesn't mean the hurt didn't happen. It means you refuse to let that hurt control you. You choose freedom over bitterness. The weight of the past will cripple your future. Unforgiveness is like trying to run a race while dragging a heavy anchor behind you. Imagine trying to move forward, trying to chase your dreams, but you're dragging this enormous weight behind you. How far are you going to get? How fast are you going to move? The answer is simple: nowhere. That's what unforgiveness does. It holds you in place. The past becomes a chain that keeps you tied down. You can't move forward, you can't grow, and you can't reach your full potential. But what happens when you cut the anchor, when you let go of the past? You move forward faster. You start running the race with freedom, with speed, and with purpose. The weight that once held you back is gone, and you are free to soar. You don't have to keep carrying the pain of yesterday. You don't have to stay stuck in the hurt of the past. God has a future for you that is full of promise, but you can't reach it if you're still dragging the past behind you. Cut the weight, release the pain, move forward, let it go. Because your future is worth more than your pain. I want you to hear this. You don't have time to be bitter. Your purpose is too great. Your future is too valuable to sacrifice it for the sake of holding on to a grudge. You can't afford to let the pain of yesterday keep you from the blessings of tomorrow. The future that God has for you is far greater than anything the past could offer. You can't keep looking in the rearview mirror and expect to move forward. You can't keep holding on to the past and expect to embrace the future. Forgiveness isn't weakness, it's strength. It takes strength to let go of the hurt, to release the anger, and to move forward. Forgiveness is a declaration that you will not let the past define you. It's a declaration that your future is more important than your pain. So let it go. Let go of the bitterness, let go of the hurt, let go of the weight, because your future is worth more than your pain. Don't let the past rob you of what God is preparing for you. The best is yet to come, and it's waiting for you on the other side of forgiveness. Fifth divine lesson, let God restore what was lost. Loss is not the end of your story, it's the beginning of restoration. Let me tell you something, loss is not the end of your story, it's the beginning of a new chapter. We all go through seasons where life takes something from us, whether it's a job, a relationship, a dream that's shattered. We feel the weight of that loss, and it's easy to believe that it's all over. But I want you to flip the script today. When life takes something away, it's not the final word. No. God is setting the stage for your comeback. What if your biggest setback is just a setup for something greater? You see, God doesn't operate in the way we think. While we may be mourning over closed doors, God is already in the process of opening new ones. Those doors that closed, they weren't meant for you anyway. God has something bigger, something better waiting for you. Stop mourning what's been taken and start preparing for the restoration that is coming. It's not about what you lost, it's about what's ahead. And it's greater than anything you could have imagined. Trust in the process. Trust that God is working behind the scenes to turn your loss into something powerful. The enemy steals, but God restores beyond measure. Pain, loss, disappointment. These are all real, but here's the truth. They don't have the final say. The enemy might try to steal your peace, your joy, or your hope, but he cannot determine your future. God does. When the enemy takes, God replenishes. And not just in the same measure, but beyond what was lost. You're not just going to get back what was taken from you. No, God doesn't work like that. His restoration is far beyond what you could ever expect. Restoration isn't simply about getting back what was lost. It's about elevation. God's restoration process always leads to a higher level, a deeper strength, and a richer experience. You're not just returning to where you were, you're moving forward into something greater. The pain, the loss, the struggle, it will all serve as a foundation for the elevation that's coming. Don't let the enemy convince you that what you've lost is all you'll ever have. When God restores, he does it in ways that exceed your expectations. Job's story, from suffering to double blessing. Take a look at the story of Job. Job lost everything, his wealth, his family, his health. He was left with nothing. And yet in the middle of his suffering, he didn't give up. He didn't turn his back on God. Why did God allow Job to lose everything? It wasn't to punish him. It was to position him for something greater. Job's faith during his lowest point became the catalyst for his restoration. God didn't just restore what Job lost, he multiplied it. Job received double for his trouble. The lesson here is clear. Faith in the valley leads to abundance on the other side. When you're in the midst of suffering, when you feel like all is lost, remember that it's not the end. God is positioning you for increase. What you are going through right now is preparing you for a restoration that's beyond anything you've experienced before. Stay faithful. Trust in God's plan. The comeback is always greater than the setback. Stop looking back. Your future is greater than your past. Let me challenge you. Stop looking back. Yes, I know the past hurts. I know the disappointments, the failures, and the losses are still fresh in your mind. But you can't keep looking behind you and expect to move forward. What's ahead is worth far more than what's behind. The past is filled with memories, but your future is filled with possibilities. You can't grab on to restoration if you're still clinging to what's been lost. Let go of the past, release the disappointments. Your best days are still ahead of you. The things that God has in store for you are bigger than any setback you've faced. Don't let the rearview mirror hold you back from the road that's ahead. Your future is waiting, and it's going to be greater than anything you could have imagined. Sixth divine lesson, use your pain to help others. Your pain has a purpose. It's not wasted. Let me tell you something. Your pain has a purpose. It's not wasted. I know it feels heavy. It feels like a weight you're carrying all alone. You wonder, why me? But let me challenge you to think differently today. What if your struggles weren't just about you? What if every single painful experience you've gone through is meant to be something more? Every wound carries wisdom. The question is, are you willing to share it? Every hardship, every failure, every tear you've shed can become a lesson for someone else. What if your scars are the very roadmap someone else desperately needs to find their way? You're not just surviving for yourself. God has allowed you to go through pain not to leave you stuck, but to position you to help others. The pain you've experienced gives you the strength and insight to walk with someone else through their own battles. Don't let your pain go to waste. Turn it into something beautiful. Something that will change the lives of others. Your struggles have a purpose. It's time to use them. Your story is someone else's survival guide. Listen to this. Someone out there is fighting the battle that you've already won. They're walking through the storm just like you once did. And your story could be the lifeline they need. Pain has a way of isolating us. It makes us feel like we're alone, like no one understands. But that's a lie. The truth is, your story could be the bridge that brings someone else out of their darkness. The pain you've faced, the lessons you've learned, can be the hope that someone else clings to. God doesn't just bring you through the storm for your own benefit. He calls you to be the one to guide others out of theirs. Don't hold your story back. Share it. Speak up. Your experience could be exactly what someone else needs to hear to find their way to healing, to break through, to victory. Your journey matters. It's not just yours. It's meant to be shared. Your survival is a gift to someone else's fight. Don't hide it. Let it be the light in someone else's darkness. Biblical truth, Peter's failure became his testimony. Think about the story of Peter. Peter was one of Jesus' closest disciples, yet he denied Jesus 3 times. He failed miserably when it mattered most. But that wasn't the end of Peter's story. Peter's failure became the very testimony of God's grace and restoration. God didn't discard Peter because of his mistakes. No, God rebuilt him. God took Peter's brokenness and turned it into leadership. Peter went on to become one of the most powerful voices in the early church. Here's the lesson. God doesn't discard the broken. He rebuilds them into something stronger. Your mistakes, your failures, they don't have to define you. In fact, they can lead you to your greatest ministry. If Peter's failure could become a foundation for faith, so can your pain, your mistakes, and your weaknesses. God doesn't waste a single moment of your suffering. Every setback is just another opportunity for him to turn you into the leader someone else needs. Don't be ashamed of your past. Embrace it. Because God is going to use it for something powerful. Turn your scars into a source of strength for others. Let's be real. We all have scars. We all have wounds, some visible, some hidden deep inside. But here's the thing. Those scars don't have to be symbols of defeat. They can be symbols of strength. Wounds become wisdom when shared. Your scars are a reminder that you've survived. They show that you've been through the fire and come out refined. And when you share them, they become a source of strength for others. Stop hiding your past. Stop pretending like it doesn't exist. Your past has power. Your struggles have purpose. What if your greatest pain is actually your greatest calling? What if the very thing you're ashamed of is the key to helping someone else find freedom? Don't let your scars keep you silent. Use them to inspire, to teach, to guide. Your story can change lives. Your wounds, your scars, they have strength. And that strength can be the foundation for someone else's healing. So, take your pain and turn it into power for someone else. Share your scars and let them become a source of strength. Seventh divine lesson, trust God's plan, not your own. The power of faith over understanding. What if you don't need to understand everything right now? What if the answers aren't as important as the faith you're willing to walk in? Let me tell you something. Faith isn't about knowing the how or the when or even the why. It's about trusting the who. God's plan doesn't always make sense in the moment. You might be facing challenges, dealing with confusion, or walking through a season that feels uncertain. But let me ask you this. Can you trust the process? Can you let go of the need to have everything figured out and simply trust that God's plan is greater than your understanding? One day you'll look back on this moment, the one that seems impossible right now, and you'll be thankful. You'll realize that every door that didn't open, every path that seemed blocked, was all part of God's plan. Sometimes the greatest blessings come from the things that don't make sense at the time. Faith isn't about having all the answers. It's about knowing that even when you don't understand, you can still trust that God is working behind the scenes. Trust the journey. Trust the process. Faith is about believing that God knows what he's doing when we don't. Why surrendering to God's will is essential. It's time to let go of control. I know. Control feels safe. But let me challenge you with this. What if God has a better plan than you ever could have imagined? When we hold on too tightly to our own plans, we miss the opportunities that God has already prepared. Sometimes what we think is a setback is actually a divine setup for something greater. What feels like a detour could be God's way of positioning you for the future he's designed for you. Think about it. It's not about what you want or what you think should happen. It's about trusting what God has prepared. But here's the key. Are you willing to submit to his timing? God's plan doesn't operate on our schedule. We may want things to happen quickly, but his timing is always perfect. When you surrender to his will, you're stepping into something far greater than your own limited understanding. It's time to let go of your own plans and trust that his plan is far better. Trust that his timing is divine and his will is the best for you. Betrayal as divine intervention, God's protection in disguise. Sometimes God allows people to leave your life to make room for something better. That's hard to hear, isn't it? But it's true. Betrayal and rejection hurt. They cut deep. You might feel abandoned, confused, and betrayed by the people you trusted. But here's the truth. Betrayal isn't just a painful experience. It's often God's way of protecting you. God knows the people who are meant to be in your life, and sometimes he removes those who are holding you back from stepping into what he has for you. Think about it. Have you ever considered that the people who hurt you might be the very ones God is removing for your own good? What if their departure is the opportunity you needed to make space for those who will help you grow? Those who will push you to be the best version of yourself? Betrayal is not the end. It's often the beginning of a new chapter. It's the pruning process, shaping you into who you're meant to be. And let me remind you, every time something is pruned, it grows back stronger. God's protection sometimes looks like pain, but it's pain with a purpose. Trust the process. Trust that God is moving things around to make room for what's next. You are not broken. You are being built for greater things. I want you to hear this loud and clear. You are not broken. You are being built. God is still working in you. The pain you're going through right now, it's not a sign that you're defeated. It's preparation. Betrayal can't define you. It might wound you, but it will not break you. Instead of seeing it as something that will destroy you, see it for what it really is, a tool of refinement. God uses the toughest moments to shape us into who we are meant to become. This season of pain, it's part of the blueprint for something greater. God is building you for something beyond what you can imagine. Are you ready for it? Are you ready to walk into the future he's preparing for you? The pain you're experiencing is not in vain. It's the process of refining you, strengthening you, and making you ready for the greater things that lie ahead. Don't let the temporary discomfort fool you into thinking it's the end. It's just the beginning. You are not broken. You are being built, step by step, moment by moment. And what God is building in you will be worth the wait. Walking forward in strength, betrayal may knock you down, but it doesn't define you. Betrayal is a painful wound. We've all felt it. Someone we trusted, someone we loved, turned their back on us, leaving us broken, confused, and questioning ourselves. The impact of betrayal is undeniable, and the scars it leaves can feel deep. But here's the truth. Its power over you is optional. Let me tell you something. What they did to you doesn't define who you are. In those moments when it feels like you've been struck down, remember this, your value is not tied to their actions. They may have betrayed you, but they cannot take away your worth. You are not the sum of their mistakes. You are not what they did to you. You may have fallen, but let me remind you, falling isn't failure. Falling is an opportunity to rise, to stand back up with even more strength, more wisdom, and more resilience than before. Your pain isn't the end of your story. It's the fuel for your comeback. Are you ready to redefine your story? Are you willing to turn this chapter of betrayal into a chapter of triumph? Because the power to rise is within you. Don't let what happened define you. Let how you rise define your legacy. Reaffirming your identity. You are not what they did to you. It's so easy to let the actions of others shape how we see ourselves. When someone betrays us, it feels like a reflection of our worth. It feels like we weren't enough, like we didn't measure up. But let me tell you this, that is not the truth. The hurt may linger. The pain may feel like it will never go away. But your purpose is not based on someone else's actions. Your identity is not rooted in their choices. Your value doesn't decrease because of someone else's failures. What God is doing through you is far more powerful than anything they could ever take away. You are being shaped into something far greater than you realize. And I know it's hard to see right now, but I want you to embrace this. You are not defined by the wounds others have inflicted. You are defined by the strength it takes to heal, to grow, and to keep moving forward. Are you willing to let go of the old narrative? The one that tells you you're not enough because of what they did to you? Let me tell you something. The best version of you is waiting for you to step into it, but you got to let go of the past and embrace the power of the future that God has prepared for you. Your strength is built in the struggle. Listen to me. Every challenge you face, every betrayal you endure is not a setback. It's part of the fire that refines you. It's in the struggle that you find your true strength. Your strength isn't born from smooth paths, from easy wins, or from comfort. Your strength is born from the scars of survival. When you've been knocked down, when the weight of the world feels too heavy, that's when you discover the warrior inside you. It's in those moments of hardship that you realize just how strong you truly are. And let me tell you something. If you're still standing, if you're still fighting, if you're still breathing after everything you've been through, then you've already won. Have you recognized the warrior in you yet? The person who rises stronger after every setback? The person who refuses to be defined by the struggle but uses the struggle to rise above it? The strength you're building right now will carry you through every battle ahead. The pain, the hurt, the betrayal, it's all refining you. You are becoming the person you were always meant to be. And when you step out of this struggle, you'll be unshakable. So hold your head high. Know that the struggle is not in vain. It's shaping you. It's building you into the person who will not only survive, but will thrive. The battle isn't over. You're still standing, and that means you're still growing stronger. Final call to action. Stand up, move forward, and trust the future. The future doesn't belong to the broken. It belongs to the resilient. This is your moment, right now, today. This is the moment where you decide that the past will no longer control you. This is the moment where you decide that what's ahead is bigger than what's behind. You may have been knocked down, but I'm telling you, you are not defeated. This is your time to rise, to stand up, and to move forward in strength. Don't look back. Your past does not define you. What God has for you is bigger than anything you've left behind. You've already walked through the fire. You've already survived what felt like it would break you. Now it's time to trust the future. Trust that what's coming is greater than what you've lost. It's time to reclaim your strength. It's time to step forward with confidence, knowing that everything you've been through has been preparing you for this moment. Are you ready to step into the future God has prepared for you? Are you ready to trust that your story isn't over yet? This is not the end. It's the beginning of something bigger, something greater. So stand up, move forward, and trust that the future is waiting for you. The best is yet to come.